It's in.
Yeah, I'm also gonna leave the
Nothing
volume on so they
matters.
can hear us talking over it. I don't give a shit anymore. You hear me, Matt? I don't give a shit. Just kidding. Love you.
So anyways, I had my
everyone.
finger all the way up this guy's butt.
Oh, God. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Yimra's Confessions, a.k.a. The Altar. Today, we have Yimra, a.k.a. Yimra. We have Max, a.k.a. Ann Caparato. And we have me, Ben, a.k.a.
AKA less racist Max.
Less Racist Max, a.k.a.
You should include that from now on.
Yes. Ann Caparato, a.k.a. Less Racist Max. And myself, Ben, a.k.a. formerly based Heisenberg, now Rocky Mountain Juhadeen. Because I got fucking canned, finally. After 10 long years of shit posting and making Tumblr a popular website and then an unpopular website, they finally decided my joke about dead names was too far, and I was terminated.
Wait,
Yeah, I might do it.
That post?
I'm pretty sure it was either that or telling Knickerbocker Kick Around that if he threatened the wrong woman with rape, he was probably going to get shot. One of the two. Like
That one, no, I don't think I've
one
made
passes.
similar threats about that a million
okay.
times.
Then it was probably the dead name joke. Would y'all like to hear the dead name joke, or do we want to
Yeah,
prepare the
like,
podcast?
I,
All right.
you gotta remind me of
We're
that
gonna do it
one.
anyways.
So this is, of course, me reading a quotation here. Quote, "The reason they call it a dead name is because it's the name they immediately go back to referring to you as after you kill yourself." Unquote.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. It's pretty.
Yeah, a little bit, but
You can see why that might be bannable.
yeah, I can also see that it
Because
might
like
be true.
if you say like, oh, like death to a country, like okay, but that one's just like very.
Well, if I
brutally,
said
like,
death to
the
Israel,
point.
they just send me ad revenue, like without asking. But
Yeah, like Tumblr like is pretty okay with you being like anti-Israel or anti-Palestine or anti like whatever country, but you get a little too specific about
Yeah.
like literal like teen suicide. You might.
I mean, I didn't
you might
say
get a
teen
feel.
suicide. I mean, I imagine
Yeah,
most of them are probably
no.
adults.
Okay, this is what
Mixed
wound
bag,
me
half
out
and
about Tumblr is like you can get you can get like specific threats like go kill yourself.
Yeah.
I have
from
been told to
people
kill
all
myself
day.
probably once a month for the
Yeah,
past
yeah,
5 years.
And they don't like ban that shit. Period. But like you. You joke about a demographic having a higher suicide rate,
Hmm.
and it could be just a way, like honestly, like it could be a way to bring attention to it. And like, you think suicide people don't like jokes?
Of course they do.
Suicide people?
Yeah.
Do you just say
Suicide
suicide
people.
people? Yes, the
Suicidal.
community of suicide people.
Well,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. People who are dealing with suicidal ideation, or people who have dealt with members they know is suicidal, whatever.
no, and
Whatever.
yeah, okay. The
All that sad
suicide
shit.
community, the despair community at large.
I
they
don't like how any of this is phrased because it feels like you're so
The
close to saying
doomer
the right
community.
word. No, it's just like people dealing with mental problems and they, I guess, talk about openly. You're just making it sound like it's, man, I'm one of them suicide lads, I just love killing myself.
I love the Suicide
like
Boys, though.
It sounds like a fucking like a fandom community. It's like, hey man, Kurt Cobain, favorite guy who killed himself.
Hmm.
Like that's their favorite. They ship.
Allegedly, Courtney Love totally didn't kill Kurt Cobain.
No, he definitely killed himself. I'll say that.
Can I say my college dorm mate / best friend went to a private school with Kurt Cobain / Courtney Love's kid, and the kid allegedly totally believes that Courtney Love did it.
I don't think she like shot his.
I don't think
up.
she
she
shot
probably.
his. She probably.
No,
I think she egged him on to do it.
No, that's different than like legitimately like pulling the trigger. What I'm saying is like she probably more than likely did some like not necessarily provoked him because at the end of the day like you kill yourself.
Maybe
But-
she maybe she told him to like do a suicide pact and then was like psych.
Yeah. He was probably like
Honestly,
dark place,
I actually
and
now
then
that you
something bad
mentioned that, I
happens, and
think that
then you
might have
kill
been the
yourself.
thing that
Like
she said, yeah.
I think she just had a heavy hand involvement with it. In that sense, instead of like literally like she went in there with a 12 gauge, just fucking fuck started his head with a shotgun.
Which of all the fucking tools to like fucking
I mean that does it. That does it.
That was guaranteed. There's
Right.
probably an absurd amount of Hollywood people who have probably attempted suicide, which I can't blame them because considering what half of them go through, I don't think I'd necessarily blame them. Don't kill yourself, by the way, but still.
Yeah, seriously.
And you don't hear about their attempted
No,
suicide
there's a
because they
way
didn't
out.
use a shotgun.
There's a light on the other side,
Yeah.
and like you will make it, and things will work out in the end. And like there's somebody out there. There are people out there right now who love you and will talk to you. Just jump into any of our fucking inboxes, and we will talk to you.
Oh yeah, no, unironically, yeah. I will. Yeah, I'll also agree to that.
But like, fucking.
Hey, we're talking about the suicide community.
The suicide community. Like seriously, no, it's something like if you joke about it, you like kind of
the
like
suicide
get
community,
it out of the
aka
way.
Deathoids.
Okay, so yeah, no, I mean, obviously, humor is a good way to deal with things either very personal or very dramatic or traumatic, blah blah.
Right.
Like
if,
it's very
you're
helpful.
just
I think it's
like,
a very important thing.
Suicide is almost always like a thought loop, right? Like it's just you talking to yourself about like things you hate about yourself or your life or your situation and stuff like
I
that.
have no
And
idea
if
what
you
that's
just-
like. I'm so awesome.
Yeah, exactly, right? And if you
totally not
step
gonna kill
outside
myself.
of that or talk to somebody else about like, oh, yeah, like fucking I got rejected by the clerk at this store and it was the first person I asked out in a while and it's like all right, like life's full of
Pause.
rejection and
Yeah, it's a
we all
numbers
deal
game,
with
bro,
it a
like-
lot. And if you
Wait.
just talk, if you just
Is
talk to
this
anybody
what's
about
happened to
this
you this morning? That sounds too specific.
Actually, no.
No.
Okay.
I
I was
was
say
thinking
you're
of
Max
gonna do better than
explained
a
some of
clerk.
his situation before we actually went live.
before
and
you
he's,
got on. If you, I personally no, I've been dealing with a lot of rejection lately, but
Oh yeah,
it's-
no, I know. Trust me, I've been rejected. Like when I hit on somebody at like either a bar or like in like a whatever. I can count on one hand. I don't think I pushed beyond 5 so far.
Now, Yimra, listen, I just want to preface
Yeah.
ahead of this. I know for a fact that you objectively fuck. However, since you're
Yeah.
bisexual, does that mean you are rejected by twice as many people?
No, men don't reject me.
no,
okay.
and yeah,
Simple
that's
as
the
that. They don't
thing.
reject me. I literally get harassed by older men constantly. It's a fucking nightmare.
Oh,
That
wow.
being
Older
said-
men are hitting you up for sex. Wow, that never ever happens in the gay community.
Never happens to any person
No.
who's younger
Harvey
of
Milk.
any gender.
That being said, I've
Tinder,
only
or
been
do
I've
you
only
mean
been
Grindr?
shot down by five ladies or 5 they thems.
Five, there's your problem, dude. That they them pussy is dangerous.
Bro, life changing, life ruining, perhaps. Religious invoking.
I just
It's
love
like
that.
Grimace.
What's
What?
that?
Because they got a buzz cut? You're like,
Yeah, I get to do. You know when someone gets a new hair, like it gets a fresh haircut,
And you're able to do that with your hand, like the little that motion.
buzz.
No,
Imagine
see-
that, but you're getting them from behind while you're able to do that. It's perfect.
What they do is they get the side cut, so this side gets shaved off, and then the curtains
Yeah.
also match the drape. So like one side is shaved and the other side is like a junk.
Yeah,
so,
it gives me the best of both worlds. So like if I have like a cut on my face from shaving, I could just kind of angle myself a different way, and then the bush is kind of like pushing on the part that's not like wounded.
So there's a lot of good strategy here.
I think
it's
I
like
think what
if
you're saying
Two-Face
here,
had a wife.
that's a great concept. I'm sure it's not been done before.
I'm
I'm
sure
sure
it
I
has
can't
not.
find a ton of porn of that.
I'm sure.
Definitely don't rule 30.
Rule
There's
34.
rule 34, but there's a gender bent rule number.
I think that's still just Rule 34. Like,
Is it?
yeah.
Okay, so rule whatever for rule 34 of
Rule 34,
Harvey.
subsection A.
I'm about to call
I
him
don't know.
Harvey Milk.
I mean Two-Face.
I mean, two.
Because his name is Harvey Dent. Okay, so that
Harvey
actually kind of
Dent.
made sense in my
Milk?
head.
Well, because you brought up Harvey Milk like 2 minutes ago.
I did.
So
yeah,
Harvey
'cause we were
Dent,
talking
Harvey
about
Milk.
pederasts. So
Sean Penn played a pretty good Harvey Milk without molesting any children in that one, though.
that's
That
true.
movie
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah, that
well,
also.
that's
I
what
don't
you
know the
need
name
to
of
do
that.
to get the movie made. Is
Yeah.
you can't show fucking.
I mean, that's how they
children.
made the Woman King. They left out all that shit about the fucking enslavement. So, Ugh.
Mm.
Rule 63 says Luke Lefebvre in chat is possibly the rule, which may be the case. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't know.
We haven't been checking the chat. Let's.
We have so
let's
Matt's
see.
taking care of the chat.
Oh yeah, but still, we should read it out for the listeners, the pure listeners, because
Let's see.
you know.
Uh,
Well, like
Hmm.
Matt's all in the fucking chat, but he won't jump into the fucking
Well, of course not.
Coding.
episode.
because if his
okay.
wife hears him talking, she's gonna beat the shit out of him. So
Okay.
Just kidding. Matt's wife, Diana. You're very nice. Sorry.
Real quick,
Honestly,
though.
the
Do-
only way she could punish him is by like cutting off her feet.
I would
No,
either
maybe
the only way
that.
she
tearing
can truly
off-
punish him is by not letting me absolutely get dicked down the bathtub by him. That being said, are we on like iTunes with this shit? I don't think so, right? Like it's
Yumra,
Spotify
I have
or
one
SoundCloud.
question: is the tub full of water or no? Is this a wet? Is this creepy?
No,
Is
there
it
has to be
wet or is
water.
it creepy? It's water. Okay, so it's wet.
It's wet. It's wet.
Is this gay sex wet or creepy? What do you mean, sir?
Just gonna go.
Just
straight
no. There's
to,
a
like,
chart, sir. It's
the only
good gay sex,
crime
sir.
is not getting dicked down in the bathtub. By the way, are we on iTunes?
Speaking of getting
My head
dicked,
a lot.
Yo.
I had to respond to that, but I was like really curious. Like I think we're on Spotify. I don't use Spotify. I use SoundCloud. 'Cause I'm a
we're
fucking
on
asshole.
SoundCloud. What are you, a rapper?
No,
Are
not
we
at all.
in Bandcamp? Are we an indie group?
Bandcamp. Yumra has the only file still left up on LimeWire.
It's just an audio loop of like
Him
I'm not even
punching
doing
a
a
tub of
joke.
mayonnaise.
I think I peaked as far as a response from dick down in the bathtub.
Oh,
I think I'm
God.
good. I think I got
Oh,
my
Speaking
we
of-
are on Apple. Matt says we are on Apple.
Speaking
When
of
did that
getting
happen?
dicked, Alex Jones
it's-
got
you know
dicked
what,
in court.
Let's say it's
Oh,
free.
man.
Probably.
Yeah.
So
So
Alex
we talked
Jones.
about- We talked about Ben getting banned on Tumblr. You can follow him again at Rocky Mountain Juadine.
And you have to be able to spell that, because if you can't, I don't want you following me. So don't ask in the
Yeah.
chat. Nobody tell them.
And then, but yeah, let's talk about AJ.
AJ, poor AJ got slapped with a 900 and how many million? Just over 900. It's
Is-
over 900.
It was like
It's almost $1
$900
million.
million.
Yeah. So for
Nearly $1 billion.
for comparison, I did a little bit of research as to like other shit that happened that resulted in a mass payout. Are we all familiar with Union Carbide?
No.
Sounds
Okay.
familiar.
So this was way back in the day. Other people may know this as like the Bhopal incident, Bhopal, where more than 400 tons of industrial waste. Oh, wait, no, hold on. I need to actually read this right.
Wait, spell it again?
Okay, so Union Carbide, or Bhopal, Bhopal, which was a lawsuit, I think that actually happened in India, but they filed it in the U.S. Supreme Court, I guess, because it was a U.S. company. So, okay, so in
that checks
1999...
out. I mean, that's the way to get the money, right? So
Okay, so in 1999, a group of victims of the Bhopal disaster, a 40-ton poisonous gas spill in India, filed suit against Union Carbide in U.S. federal court. The result of that is Union Carbide was fined $470 million. Almost half of what Alex Jones is being fined right now for hurt feelings crimes. Putting that in perspective.
to
However,
11 people.
To 11 people. 11
Right? Like-
people. Yeah. So,
It's
obviously, you could also say, like, all right, so it's a lower payout, but you could be a little racist and say, well, they're Indian, they're not even U.S. citizens. Like, of course, they're not going to pay out as much. So, there was another incident of a U.S. pharmaceutical company. Maybe people are familiar with the company Bayer Pharmaceutical.
I don't know if I've heard of them before.
Right, they're kind of esoteric. You probably haven't heard of it. They're very obscure, underground. So, this is actually a little more recent. This is of 2003. So, actually, no, Bayer is based in Germany. Okay, so
Yeah,
Bayer knowingly sold blood clotting agents infected with HIV to Asia and Latin America months after withdrawing them from Europe and the US. So there was also a lawsuit about this. And
Sorry, my
let's
phone.
see.
It's not related. Some grenades. Sorry. Realized that looked. How funny meme.
Dude, I like don't even get my fucking blood drawn at like the doctors because I'm like, these fuckers like reused needles.
Here we go.
And shit.
So
They're
this
cheap
was
and shit.
So I guess in 2003, Bayer was like, yeah, we did that. So this is from April 18th, 1996. 4 drug companies were accused of selling AIDS-tainted blood products to thousands, of U.S. hemophiliacs in a
Oh my god.
The settlement for this case was $600 million. So this, thousands of people were prescribed medications or sold medications that were tainted with the HIV virus. Thousands. 600 million. 300 and change million short of what Alex Jones is currently being
Yeah.
fined in court.
Well,
That
Here-
being said,
here's
it
the
kind of
perspective.
deserves to get a little fucked over. Guys, kind of fucked up regardless. He shouldn't be paying $900 million.
But
He
here's
should
the
just be fucked over a little bit for that. I
no,
don't
he
blame
he's
them.
allowed to fucking publicly disagree with
exactly.
the media.
Here's
Well,
the
yeah,
thing.
but
Like, this is
bullshit.
the thing. Like, people took what he said, individuals took what he said, and themselves went and harassed these 11 people, which is why these
Yeah.
11 people are suing Alex Jones, which is, I don't even know how that was allowed to, like, come forth against Alex Jones, because yes,
Well,
he's responsible
here's-
for his own opinion. He's not responsible for the actions of others.
He's not responsible
doesn't
for those
work that
people,
way.
But
The
also, I mean,
the
it's
nice
pretty
thing
fucked
is-
up to
is-
suggest they're crisis actors for a mass shooting. It's a little extreme.
here's the nice thing is Texas law, which Alex Jones lives in Austin, Texas, right? Texas law, as I understand it, and as he was talking about with Michael Malice just a couple weeks ahead of this ruling, said that he says, like, basically, yeah, like under Texas law, all my personal assets are immune from this ruling.
I mean, he's never gonna have to pay all 900 million. There's literally no fucking way.
But-
Obviously,
No, like think about it this way: if Alex Jones had like been drunk driving and hit a school, like the short school bus with all of the kids on it, and killed
Mhm.
those kids
Less of
in
a
the
fine.
Newtown shooting, like he'd if he was drunk driving and only personally killed the children, he'd
Mhm.
only be responsible for a few $1 million each, right?
Mhm.
Right? Like literally, if he physically was the person who killed the children, the fucking ruling would only be for a few $1 million each. And here they have him paying out $1 billion.
but there's no way in hell he's actually gonna end up paying all that. I'm sure there's a bunch of rigmarole he's gonna have going on with getting around it.
Well, no, this is literally the fucking Connecticut justice system showing that they are like a complete joke, right?
Mhm.
Because they might as well have said like, you own a moon of Saturn now.
Yeah.
Each plaintiff owns a moon of Saturn.
Mhm.
It's like they're never gonna get paid that much. I had a friend who got struck in drunk driving. Like they were riding in an Uber,
Mhm.
and a drunk driver hit the Uber they were riding in,
Wow.
and he got a decent payout. But at the end of the day, like the person only has so much income that they can produce to
Exactly.
sustain the settlement. And so, like after you get the insurance payout, it's like, yeah, what do you get after that? Like, and so, like, yeah, a settlement like this is just absolutely, they can
Well,
write.
I mean,
any
this
number.
this definitely was like some of the people or lawyers or whatever involved definitely wanted to make sure this Alex Jones couldn't do anything akin to this or anything in general. I guess they want to just kind of financially ruin him, which is
Right,
yet
but
again
he's
not
just
gonna
gonna
fucking
keep.
happen.
It's just
But
gonna keep doing
here's
it.
the
Like,
It's
real
not gonna happen.
deal.
He's gonna keep doing his thing.
The real deal is he would question it on air, but he never asserted on air that
Mhm.
it was a false flag.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't, he never said as fact that this is a false flag. He would take listener questions and say like, oh, that's really interesting and stuff like that. Like you could go through all the evidence. They didn't let him submit the evidence.
that was
and
very
the discovery
strange.
phase.
Honestly, like,
No, it's a complete. It was worse than a fucking kangaroo court in the Soviet Union.
You know
wasn't
what
the
worst part
judge
is
like
if you
openly
can't even
mocking
go
him
to
at
like a
certain
higher
points?
level. I'm pretty sure, right? You can't like go to a higher trial because
Oh no, you can. You can appeal. You can absolutely.
No,
appeal.
but like, no, what I'm
can
saying is like
appeal
the
all the way
reality
to
of his
the Supreme
situation
Court.
as well is like, just because like the second, a lot of his like, obviously a lot of his content is very pervasive, and your average, your court of common people is not going to look at any of that stuff in a very favorable light 9 out of 10 times, quite frankly.
Pervasive or provocative?
one of those words that means it's very provocative. Whatever. Words are big for me sometimes.
I'm also
Sometimes I can use them correctly.
I'm actually surprised that like this court case was allowed to go down in Connecticut. Like it doesn't surprise me that it did, but like that's such a conflict of interest at that point, because of course Connecticut is going to be pissed off about Alex Jones saying this shit. It happened in Connecticut. So yeah, like
But all
it's
the,
like
all the family were
trying.
in Connecticut, so I guess all the affected were there. But it should have been probably handled in a different area or at a different
This
level.
is going to go to a federal district judge
Oh, it
on
absolutely is.
appeal.
Yeah.
And
And hopefully
the First
federal
Amendment
judge
case.
will rule it a lot more better.
Well, you're gonna see what was the New York Times versus Sullivan case basically? Like, okay, if the New York Times can get away with look it up, Ben. I don't know. But the Sullivan case is what established is the most recent, most extensive ruling on free speech law and defamation and slander and libel, etc., in the last 60 years, basically. And from that understanding, it's like, yeah, people are allowed to publicly disagree about facts of unknown things. It's totally with germane to discuss the nature of undecided. Like what you can get in trouble for is when there is a court ruling, i.e. like O.J. Simpson, and the murder of several people, and you say like something about like guilt versus not. You can say he was found not guilty, right? He was acquitted of the murder, and so as a result, like of double jeopardy and of the legal system, you can't publicly contradict the legal system, but you can publicly disagree with factual findings about different things. It's totally germane.
Which
I
I
have no
mean,
idea.
that is the big issue. Like I would say one of the big issues of like the time right now is, do you have a right to disagree with things that are presented factually in public? Which I
still
think
will
is
regardless.
exactly, but I think that is what the overall theme here is. It's not so much that it's about Newtown or it's about Sandy Hook or it's about Alex Jones. It's about this is a person who disagrees with an official narrative about an event that happened, and because they are disagreeing with it publicly, they need to be punished. That's basically what we're dealing with. This is the stage that's being set. So, Max, I totally agree. Like, this is going to a higher federal court, and like, I don't think this would go all the way to the Supreme Court. But I had a thought this morning where I'm sure you guys have all been privy to conversations about whether or not Alex Jones is like a CIA plant or whether or not
He's
like
definitely not. That's so fucking.
Oh
gay.
no! When you get to this level, when they're financially prosecuting them this level, I mean, same thing with Kanye West, right? Like he just got unbanked by J.P. Morgan Chase.
That's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting
like,
to see how that plays
when
out.
you get unbanked, that is you are not a fucking part of the system anymore.
Which is hilarious that he goes on a rant about Jews on Twitter and then a bank just drops him. Like, something about hit dogs.
Yeah, don't play the stereotypes, guys.
Yeah, seriously, Christ.
There was like a statistic. I don't know how long ago I read it, but it was like something like 70-some% of most bankers are actually Irish and not Jewish.
Of course, yes, the Irish.
Which we had the discussion last time. Where are the Irish or the Jews of
in your opinion, what is the answer to the Irish question?
I don't know. I don't like British people.
That's fair. We're not talking about British people. We're talking about Irish people. Oh, British people versus Irish people.
Irish are better. They're like blowing shit up, and British people, they don't even half their fucking dudes are incest peoples and the queens and the royalty. Fuck them. Irish don't have no royalty. Don't need no royalty.
This is true. But I want to let's circle back real quick to I wanted to talk just like the debate.
I mentioned the Sullivan case. Can I
just
clarify the Sullivan case, because I was just reading about it. So during the civil rights movement in the 60s, the New York Times published an ad to contribute for donations to defend Martin Luther King Jr. on perjury charges against the FBI. the city of the public safety commissioner Sullivan in Alabama felt that criticisms of his subordinates reflected on him and said that this was slander, written lies about his subordinates and himself. And so they sent a written request to the Times to publicly retract all of the information about how Sullivan's subordinates had acted, even though there were minor inaccuracies in New York Times reporting. The Times refused and said that they didn't understand the request, and then the state Supreme Court awarded him, or sorry, a jury in the state awarded him $500,000 in damages, and the state Supreme Court affirmed the ruling, and it went to the Supreme Court and was overruled that you are allowed to fucking criticize state officials, including the FBI, which is what
Especially the
Alex
FBI.
Jones was
Especially.
doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you can be inaccurate. You can
You can be a
not
little
know the
retarded.
facts. You can just say what you know off the top of your head when you're talking about the FBI, when you're criticizing them.
The FBI is fully staffed by lesbians. And if
That's
I get
not
sued for that,
inaccurate
I will kill myself
at
live
all.
on TV.
Also, we're supposed to talk about inflation, 40-year high.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing we're talking about. So, well, before we go to
I
inflation...
want to get this out of the way so we can get
So-
back to Grimace, you know?
Right. Okay, no, we'll have plenty of time for Grimace. We'll have plenty of time for inflation. The point I wanted to make before was that
Inflation
this
and
is
Grimace,
going
okay.
to endlessly fuel the Is Alex Jones limited hangout, blah, blah, blah shit. Because this case is probably obviously not going to end here. It's going to get appealed. It's going to go on for a while. You could
I
make
want to
the...
see Alex Jones testify in front of the fucking Supreme Court.
Oh my god, I can't wait for that shit. Can you imagine?
That's gonna be a fuck. They're not gonna let that be recorded though. You're not gonna see any recordings of that shit.
Oh,
Oh
yes, they
no,
are.
it has to be.
I
It
just,
has
I
to
want
be.
the
There's-
artist
there's
rendering
more.
of, like, Alex Jones going, like, ah!
I know certain court cases, or like depending on state or whatever, like both sides have to agree, or only one side or whatever. Like it really is dependent. Civil.
No,
one
when it
over
comes
that.
to federal, it's all public record.
it's all public.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Like they have
when
like
it comes
cameras set up and
to
everything, or is it?
so the Supreme Court doesn't allow cameras, but they will allow
That's
paintings,
what I
and
mean.
they
That's
do
what I was
allow
thinking,
audio
because
recording.
the one with that he was just doing had like cameras in there, if I remember right. But like in
Yeah,
New York
they
State,
had
it's allowed like just
cameras.
drawings. So Supreme Court's gonna do the drawing things.
They
And,
do
like, you
ju-
can read
they
everything
do
it says.
drawings, but there's a full audio. You can listen to a full Supreme Court hearing.
Okay.
Yeah, you
That's
like
what I
full
meant, is,
audio
like the
playback.
camera part, because I've seen clips of it in the that case.
No,
I've
I
before,
mean
though.
we all agree that there should be a camera in every courtroom, but like,
But I do like them drawings though; they're real cool.
no, it
They're pretty
keeps
aesthetic.
people employed. It's like it's
like those
But
scanning-
they're
Colonel
public
drawer dudes.
employees.
So listen, someone
often
has to
not,
get. Okay,
actually.
listen. If you're going to get an arts degree, it might as well be kind of based aesthetic wise, and it's fucking like criminals like with the chains and shit, and me like talking in a courtroom. Pretty drippy drawings. If we're gonna employ
Artists, they might as well, make courtrooms look interesting. If you're gonna make propaganda and we have to accept going to court, I didn't have to go to jury duty, by the way. Fun fact.
Based.
um,
So, let's,
yeah. Inflation.
So,
Grimace,
inflation.
Before we do
combine.
inflation, what was the other thing? Before I was like I went on my rant about Sullivan, so that was my thing.
No, that's it. it was going to endlessly
There's
fuel
also Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, no, we'll bring... Okay, God. All right. So, yeah. So, Alex,
Ooh.
this is going to endlessly fuel the Is Alex Jones limited hangout rant. Also, yeah, Tulsi Gabbard, like I called her, the coconut-siren. Like, I can appreciate the speech or whatever she gave denouncing the Democratic Party. She's still WEF, guys. Like, this is the thing we all need to remember. Like, her and Dan Crenshaw and, like, many of these other younger politicians who appear to be based, not that Dan Crenshaw appears based, went to these fucking WEF camps or conferences or whatever the fuck they call them, and one of their things is public image and reconciling public image and appearances. So don't fall for this shit. Do not fall for this shit.
I think
JC,
Tulsi,
you should be shot for that comment in Minecraft.
Time to read it.
Continue, Max.
Tulsi is genuinely like a her. She was in the Democratic primary. Anytime they'd ask her what her most important issue was avoiding nuclear war with Russia, right?
That's a pretty low bar to have. What's your most biggest important thing?
No,
Not
but
to
it's
die
not.
a nuclear
It's
holocaust.
not a fucking low bar. When in the modern Democratic Party, they are all
Okay, but like
fucking
realistically,
rooting
like
for
none of them
it.
are gonna actually like no matter what. Like there's still all the Defense Department people who are not retarded who are being like yeah, can we nuke Russia? And I'm like, no, idiot, dumbass. Give me the
No,
fucking like.
I think after 20 years of hiring only neocons and like just like that cycle, like they might be stupid enough to not realize like fucking Saddam like when we antagonized Saddam Hussein, like he didn't have nukes, right? And we did it against Afghanistan, they didn't have nukes, or Libya or Somalia or Syria or anything like that. Russia actually has fucking nukes.
Yeah.
But,
Lots of them.
but still, for real, like we're not gonna nuke Russia. May
I
God
know.
strike me down right now. There's gonna be no nukes flying between us and Russia. May Allah strike me. May God strike me. May
I
Yahweh.
hope so, because fucking like what we're going for when we're approving all of this aid and all of this defense shit and all of this like these air defense programs and the missile batteries and shit, and then the Ukrainian special ops have the fucking audacity to pull off a fucking truck bomb inside Russian sovereign territory. Like, are you shitting me? That's ISIS shit.
Yeah.
Wait.
that's American military shit.
Well, yeah, because we fund ISIS, but because
Hey, we're not supposed to talk about that part yet.
One of us has made a lot of money doing that.
One of us?
no, like
What?
we
Who?
are sending special operators
Oh, I
to
don't
set
know,
up
Mr.
fucking car
fucking
bombs
Hebrew
to
state over
destroy
here.
the infrastructure of Russia, like a sovereign like nuclear armed power, the most armed power in the world. Like they have more than us. They've expanded their arsenal since the Trump reneged on the treaty, right? So like fuck us.
Hey, listen, man. Nukes start flying. Either this lamp is going to be a pretty good idea of the last moment on my face, or I'm going to be okay.
I think we're all going to be okay. I think it's just bullshit.
I'm going to be okay no matter what.
personally,
Either I die instantly or I don't get nuked.
The incentive here is to constantly test how much fucking shit they can get away with selling. Well, okay, we're gonna give it to Ukraine, but we're gonna buy it from Rand Corp, affiliated Boeing and Raytheon and
Or we
General
already have the
Dynamics
shit and we're
and
like,
shit.
we'll give you this shit, but we're not going to give you like that nice thing that's in that shit. We're going to take that part out. We'll take that processor chip out. We'll take this type of armor or like fucking
Well,
whatever
that is
tech
the
out.
that is the M1A2. So.
No, they give them the full kit. It's just like we won't
Oh,
give
I'm just
them
saying, like in
medium.
general, like from what I've seen, like when they give them, like artillery pieces, they don't give them like the full tech or like certain vehicles or gear. It's like not the best
Oh
shit.
yeah,
but
there
pretty
is a
good.
risk of capture, right? And if
Yeah.
Well,
the
yeah, so they
Russians
don't want like
actually
certain.
captured like
They don't
a
want
full unit,
like cutting edge tech. They want like
Well,
stuff that like either the Russians would only ever do slightly better with, but they only have like a handful of them anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if they get like, like the fucking microchip that's like the smallest one you can get from from Taiwan, then it's like, okay, well, that's a fucking problem.
so again, much of the equipment in the U.S. military has specific models that were developed specifically for export. There are models of the F-35, of the F-15, of the F-16, of the M1 Abrams that were designed to be exported, and they're not as good as the ones we have. The
That being
armor's
said,
not
they're
as
still
good.
pretty fucking good.
Still pretty good, yeah. Comparably, like the
In fact, I don't think
F-15
we've
South
ever,
Korea
ever had
has.
Abrams fully destroyed. I mean, that's still pretty good stats.
True, yeah.
I
Like
can say the same
it's
about the Russian tanks.
I know in Iraq for sure there were some mobility kills on Abrams. I don't know if they actually
Yeah, but like
managed to,
the whole tank we still brought back or like did something. Like I don't think the tank was completely destroyed though.
correct.
That
yeah.
sweet depleted uranium armor that doesn't give you cancer, but the shells
not.
do.
Of course.
Which I'm pretty sure makes sense in my head. 'Cause I don't think I've ever heard any tank guys getting cancer, but a lot of those fucking kids in those countries from the shells are just laying around from being superheated from fucking bullets going out of it.
Well,
This would be
no,
my
yeah,
logic for
when
that.
when you get that shit into the ambient, like into the air or the
Yeah.
water, yeah,
Not good.
totally.
Like a rocket hitting one of those shells and they fucking throw it out and they leave it in the garbage. Like the tankers are fine. Those guys in those tanks
No,
are fine.
they're lined and on the interior
Mhm.
so that you don't get
Cancer.
the cancer or the radiation poisoning or whatever. I don't know.
Any of those sweet, sweet, delicious extras you get with new War Crime fucking 5th gen. Anyways, inflation and Grimace. How they connect.
Oh, can I just publicly make a prediction here before we move on from Ukraine, Russia, Tulsi shit? Because Tulsi went out, like her thing was in 2019 in the primaries. She was talking about like we need to avoid war with Russia, and like
Everybody
you
laughed
guys
at
are
her for it.
yeah, everybody laughed at her for it, and she's like, "Okay, I'm just aiding and abetting this party by remaining a part of it." Like, so props to her. Like, honestly, like she might be WEF or something like that, but like the WEF right now, like, what are all those fucking European leaders doing? They're fucking selling weapons to Ukraine and postponing the war, and they're trying to say that the green transition will get you off of Russian gas and stuff like that, when in reality it's fucking like Germany's. Let me be on record. I expect Germany to be under a revolutionary / provisional government by spring this year. It is
Gonna be bad.
going to get horrific in Germany when people are spending $1,000 or $1,500 a month on their natural gas bill. And then Tulsi was out and about that. She might have been co-opted early into like the WEF thing. I don't think leaving the Democrat Party or Dan Kershaw, like even if he left the Republic, I wouldn't take Dan Kershaw leaving the Republican Party as seriously as Tulsi leaving the Democrat Party,
Yeah,
right?
because leaving the like at least we're leaving the Republican Party, you have the chance of going to like the Libertarian Party, which I mean obviously you don't get much out of that, quite frankly, as much as staying in one of the two parties that make you a shit ton of money, which are basically the same at the end of the day because nothing matters. But leaving the Dem Party, where they clearly are on the side of doing a lot better in almost every aspect as far as what they want to do, is definitely more ballsier and definitely at least says something. If what she's doing is actually legitimate and not like some weird fucking like 40 chess move. But I'll assume she's not for the time being, because assuming everything's a conspiracy theory is a bit fucking nuts after a while. But Ben's smirking because he's deep into everything's a conspiracy theory moment. I stopped doing that like 6 months ago, and I feel a little bit better.
She literally spent years treating the fucking blown off limbs of dudes in fucking Iraq and stuff like that. Like I don't.
That'll make you pretty
like,
anti-war.
I really think at the end of the day, like, okay, you can show up at these WAF conferences and be like, blue pilled and stuff like that, but she absolutely probably is.
I mean, if you're invited to a conference with all these powerful people, it's kind of stupid not to go, even if
Right.
you not want to be a part of it, because it's just okay. Now I know what they want to do. I want to do literally the fucking opposite of that. I'm not saying that's her case. I'm just saying, it's one of those things where it's just because someone goes there. Like, if you have the opportunity to go to a place like that, it's like having connected members in like a company. It's like, why would you not take the job as long as you're not a dipshit?
She's been turned on to what would happen in Ukraine for 3 years before a lot of people were talking about it. And so like that's where I'm like, maybe she was at like this WEF conference and stuff like that. But I
They were
think
talking
she's
about Ukraine.
what do you mean?
No, she was at one of these conferences, and they were like, and then in a few years, we will begin the operation in Ukraine, and we will create tensions there.
They were
in order
talking
to...
about it in 2014, dude.
Well, yeah, the whole Crimea thing type.
I mean,
deal.
that was
they-
actually happening publicly at that point, yeah, so...
There was that Crimean conflict where the Russian guys were like, "Oh, we don't have patches, so we're not Russian military." And the Ukrainians are just sitting there with their swastikas, also taking those patches off, like, "We're not Nazi." Wherever the fuck went
And
down
then
over
in
there, I forgot.
2016, oh, did you guys see the last thing I fucking reblogged on Tumblr, which was
No, I have to
before
go on
the
Tumblr again and not look
episode
at pictures
post?
of men's cocks. He's such an asshole.
All right,
You-
John
it
Green,
would-
relax.
Listen, go.
I'm not that.
You could go to my
bald-pasty fuck.
Tumblr and Caperato at tumblr.com.
TM.
I don't know if that's the actual way to find it, but
Okay, I'm gonna be saying. That's
Yeah.
still kind of a flex, though. That's still kind of a flex. Like, hey, remember that other war? What if we did that, but we won this time, without the Nazi shit? But then the irony is still obviously a little bit there.
well, okay, no, my
We
last
fought
post.
we fought those.
Goddamn Japs. You know I'd be putting a bunch of fucking MacArthur recordings on.
Oh, that's right. Yimra is extremely racist against the
Yeah, I
Japanese.
forgot. I did one comedic rant that's because I'm so avoiding of trying to be like actually legit offensive that I sounded legitimately so racist.
Yeah, that
Dude,
was like...
you- I cannot believe like you've avoided it so well until recently, and then like
I went off.
if
for
I
one
showed a
time and it-
Japanese friend like your
Yeah.
rant, like they'd be like,
And it-
"Ooh."
Got two
That
nukes
guy's
is not enough
living
Yimra
in
over
like
here.
a 44.
legitimately like have no like real hate toward any group. I'm very open minded. I actually like probably am too open minded sometimes for certain things.
Yimra
I-
absolutely is pro atomic bombing of Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
Oh God, no.
Oh God, yes.
My last
being
post
said,
was-
it'd been a lot funnier if the Japs were able to drop those chemical weapons or whatever they were planning to do like 3 weeks after we nuked them.
It was
If we didn't drop
bioweapon,
nukes,
but
it was
yeah.
like a bioweapon, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it was.
That'd
It was
been-
like
that'd been
small-
fucking
it was
nuts.
like a hyper contagious smallpox.
Yeah, like that'd been
anyways,
fucking nuts. That war would have gotten crazy.
so my last post on tumblr.com/blog/Encaparado was Ukrainian forces playing World War II era German army propaganda,
that.
recording urging
World War II German
So-
era. Who? What?
Soviets to surrender. Is there a quicker way to say World War II era German army?
Democratic Socialist German Army, World War II.
There was a man with a mustache who led them. He said some funny things and then killed a fuck
He was
ton of
very. He
innocent
said
people.
something about like the state should provide health care and capitalism's bad and
And then he
something
put
like
like
that,
some
yeah.
people in camps because they were different than him.
yeah.
And then he just murdered a bunch of them because he's a little faggot.
Well, it was the bankers and the
Are you
the
going to defend
capitalists.
the Holocaust being a good thing? Is that what you're about to do right now? I'm going to stop you right there. If you're going to chastise me for making some offhanded, off-color Japanese jokes, don't defend the Holocaust. You don't have to hand it to the Nazis.
No, I was joking because like fucking nowadays like the bankers are the people who should provide our moral guidance, right?
They're mostly Irish, anyways. I don't know why you
Of
give them
course,
that much
yeah.
credit.
I need to look this back up. I want to because I
But
remember.
no,
seeing it
all I did
somewhere.
was quote World War II era German army. World War
Okay.
II era German army.
Ethnic.
Mm,
It gives you a long
percentage of
pause to think about.
bankers.
All right, boys. So I
Anyway.
think we've hit. We obviously we can keep going, but I think we've hit actually every topic we meant to talk about tonight, which is
Not
I think-
inflation.
Yeah,
I kept
no, we
trying
talked
to
about
No,
inflation.
Let's talk about the
Inflation.
inflation, you fuckers.
No, we didn't.
We didn't.
We didn't talk
No,
about
we didn't
inflation.
talk
I kept
about inflation.
trying to
I
keep
mean-
bringing it up.
All right. Well, yeah, it's at a 40-year high, and the Democrats are absolutely losing control of Congress in a couple of weeks. So, I guess we could talk about that.
Dude,
just wanna
they
know if they're
did
Irish,
all
these
they
bankers.
could, right? They had the October surprise for marijuana.
Oh my God,
Allegedly
marijuana, and they
legalization.
They're trying to like subpoena Trump, like the Jan 6th committee is trying to subpoena him over some shit.
They
Like,
always okay. I looked at that and I said, like, weren't they always going to subpoena
They
Trump?
were always going to do it, but it's like they're doing this other thing now where they have like more shocking surprise evidence, and it's going to be like, yeah, this person heard from this person who heard from another person that Trump said the N-word in like the SUV or something. Or it's going to be
Trump
like,
definitely said the N-word. Let's get that out of the way. There's
of
no
course,
fucking way how
of course he did.
Let's
but,
not pretend like he didn't.
But the other thing I read very briefly, apparently they had audio of Steve Bannon talking about like something he said Trump told him was going to happen or something like that. And it's like, all right, so we're at least removing one more person from the chain of hearsay, but it's still hearsay. Like I don't understand.
Your secondary source talking about
I
a primary
am just-
source in a weird way. That's weird.
I'm thoroughly flummoxed by the lack of control that the president actually has over the Capitol.
Yeah.
Well,
You
you
know?
remember that funny movie Vice that explained Dick Cheney fucked the job of the presidency to the point that the VP can actually be just as powerful?
I
What a
didn't
good
actually
movie
see that.
was. Great movie. They make Dick Cheney a piece of shit. Not shocking. George Bush a retard. And
Vice with
and they
with
and I'm
Christian
sure
Bale
they
is-
they
yeah,
portrayed every Democratic
amazing.
politician
I
in the
love that
movie was
movie.
like a hero and intelligent and had all the funny quips.
I
Right?
don't even remember that part. I was really focused. Let's be honest. It was the Republicans' time to shine as far as a generation era, as far as politics go, and they were all assholes. I'm okay with the movie saying the Democrats were slightly better because I'm not retarded.
Fine.
But they made
This kind of
the Republicans were like so fucking blatantly evil during that era. It's like, okay, well,
Oh yeah, they were like, dude, fucking my post about fucking Dick Cheney,
oh my god.
like compared to Trump, that people would fucking support Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney over fucking Trump in
That's
the modern
amazing.
era.
That's
It's
still
like,
amazing to me.
You
Like,
want
the
a man
Democratic-
who like listen, I always say at least Trump, you kind of knew whatever the fuck was going on, even if it was like overblown or like hyperbolic. You still knew what was going on whenever Trump did something or any law was enacted. That was obviously on the Republican side. Democrats could hide it or at least word it a little differently. Dick Cheney did a bunch of shit that like you will never hear about that were enacted into laws without going through thousands of pages of like legal documents that, let's be honest, no one's gonna fucking read except
let's
for
not
let's not even
broach the Halliburton subject of how much money that company made during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, and Dick Cheney totally wasn't involved with Halliburton, not at all.
Just think
But-
about what you know about Dick Cheney as far as like actual
yeah, I
things.
just went
like
from
when
being
I
a
was
president
in
of
high school-
Halliburton, and now I'm in
So-
charge of all of Iraq's oil wells.
So I remember in high school, I would unfortunately, of course, this is when The Daily Show was probably at its peak, like 2004 to 2008. Tuning in every night
funny back then. I'll
to
say it.
listen to Jon Stewart make fun of George Bush, and it was funny at the time. And then, of course, we have the whole Daily Show collapse during the Obama administration. But at the time, Dick Cheney and Bush, all of this shit. Do you guys remember the show Little Bush on Comedy Central? Do you remember that shit?
Oh, when they do those shitty political cartoons, right?
Right, but I remember at the time
None of them
it was
were ever funny.
it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny. Not really.
Comedy
but
is
at the same-
subjective. Fair enough.
it was okay. But could you imagine trying to do a show like that, say about Obama? And it's funny because Obama was actually in Little Bush for a little bit, but about Obama.
I was also
or
in a little bit of Bush. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of
Mhm.
trim. How you going? Just kidding. I don't have sex.
Does
I need
Grimace
to-
have a bush?
All our listeners know I don't have sex.
Does Grimace have a bush?
It's pretty stubbly down there.
Does
like
the
the
carpet
razor. I
match
like
the
the-
drapes?
I like the razor burn.
Does the
I'm pretty
carpet
sure Grimace is supposed to be a hairless lump of shit, basically. As far
do
as
the
weight.
French fries match the nuggets?
Grimace has a fucking vagina, my guy.
Do the French fries match the apple pie?
Grimace has no hair on his body. I'm glad we circled back to Grimace. I'm glad you did that. So
We
so
were
naturally.
always gonna circle back to Grimace. There was no escaping Grimace.
There's no-
Degrassi is
there-
eternal.
Yo, I told you the adult Happy Meals. Grimace has 4 arms because he originally had 4 arms in like the McDonald's lore. But it's a little weird seeing 4 arms, and then I'm up late at night drinking
you
4
imagine
Locos. What 4
All
arms
4
could do to me?
hands. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
You could give me a full service on my cock and balls and spread my ass and get whole just like this in there and another 2 set right now. You just really give me what for, you know? I really hope someone in this building can hear me right now.
Everyone can hear you right now.
These walls and floors are like paper thin.
Your father is so proud of you.
Oh, which one?
Oh. I don't know.
My parents are divorced.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I don't care. I love when people get like try to be like all offended. Like my parents are divorced. Like, bro, either you saw it coming or you were like 2 when it happened.
Or yeah.
It's one or the other. I was like 8 or 10. I'm over it. I don't give a shit. I have so many step siblings. I don't even remember the number. It's 10 plus. It's absurd. I have more
That's
family
a lot of
members than most Amish people do.
Is
Technically.
your father like just like getting busy or what?
I mean, we did find out I have a half brother, due to 23andMe. So I mean, yeah, I guess so. That was a good meme.
Wait, well, okay. If you have a half brother and you have a lot of step siblings,
Yeah.
what's your mom up to?
Marrying a person with a lot of daughters.
Making more siblings
Not anymore, thank God.
that you know.
I would definitely know. I would definitely know by now. I'll be honest.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I'd be aware about that now. I visit over there every once in a while.
Ah.
I eat some good Italian dishes.
Mm.
We talk about cars,
Cox.
and then
So we really haven't addressed inflation though.
We
grimace inflation.
Porn. Time to look it up.
inflation is bad. Fuck the Federal Reserve.
We should have
I
Ben share
don't
screen and
know.
put
Okay,
Grimace inflation.
I anarcho-Mikeism, which would be an interesting maybe
We're
guest
just
to have
making
on the
words up
show.
at this point. We're just making words up at this point. I know it's a real thing. I don't care.
It's a blog.
And he posted like a Taco Bell receipt from 1999, and then I posted fucking reaction gif of Ryan Gosling screaming to it.
Mm.
And it's on about 23,000 notes on tumblr.com. And I'm kind of proud of it, to be honest.
Okay, real quick though, I know you should be proud about that, but I put into Google on images Grimace inflation because I hate myself. So there are promotional customized PVC inflatable purple Grimace blow-ups. They're out of stock right now. I don't know what anyone wants to take from that, but basically, I think we should invest in blow-up Grimace inflatable dolls because clearly they're a hot commodity. We gotta get money in this, guys. If you're a savvy investor, a Sigma male grind set, you're one of those fags on Instagram who has to watch videos of fucking mob guys with shitty music over it. Put all your money into rare fish and inflatable fucking grimaces.
I'll consider that.
Thank you.
The
No porn though, surprisingly.
okay, actually, I stand
save search
corrected.
on?
I just checked the post, and it's at 33,000 notes.
How does it feel to have your activity blown up by strangers who are all infinitely more retarded than the last person? How does it feel?
Honestly, there's very few replies on.
It's mostly
the-
reblogs. You're lucky. You're lucky, dude. 10
It's
years.
mostly reblogs.
10 years of shit posting. I had multiple posts that went over like 6 digits in notes. If it were not for XKit, they would be completely unusable for me. Just all the
You
fucking
can just
garbage.
unsubscribe from the fucking notifications for them.
It doesn't work that well, man. It's Tumblr.
Can't
It
relate.
still
Couldn't
comes
be me.
through. You couldn't be. It couldn't be. It could. I'm gonna be really honest. Like when I got the
Sexual?
email, like first, like so Resist Max actually was like, yeah, you know it's real when like you try to log in and it says like admin user authentication failed. And I remember logging in one day and that happened and none of my posts were loading and I was like, oh shit, this is it. Go to my email. Your account's been terminated. Finally happened. This is kind of weird. And I've been thinking about this for the past couple of days, but like, You guys ever like been heavier and then you lost a bunch of weight and then like you go to do something that you tried to do when you were heavier and like it's much easier to do and you just feel lighter and there's less resistance and shit?
Yeah.
I feel like psychologically that is what happened to me after my blog was deleted.
Yeah.
Because like 10 years of shit posting like that and maintaining this persona and doing all of this shit, like I guess I really wasn't aware of how like psychologically that was wearing on me.
How parasitic you are with Tumblr.
Right, but like I would just like because I could multiple times like when the posts were blowing up originally and then they would cycle back around and then occasionally like of course like we're all used to this by now, Tiffany and like other people like in our circle, we find our posts like on Instagram or Yimbra, TikTok. Your post was right on TikTok.
Bro,
Yeah,
like,
right.
One of my posts that I'll get notified on, and I'm just embarrassed by like what the context is. There's
Right,
an
but,
absurd
like-
amount. Because
but,
they're
like-
not even like most of my posts don't get that big. I'm usually like a comment on a post that's like at this point
Mhm.
historical, which I don't want to even pretend like it's a flex for I want to kill myself every day. But it's very strange where like I only have like one or two friends who actually like know what my blog is
Mhm.
because like I don't want to connect any of this to my own personal life overall. Like there's some people who follow me from this site on other sites, but it's very strange. And like just seeing the comments on those where it's just like, oh, you're on Instagram though. Like your opinions don't mean shit to me, fag.
Word.
Not,
But
not
again,
in a
like
derogatory way against gays.
psychologically,
Just me.
psychologically, I feel like I just am just so much lighter. Like it's the only way I can describe it. Like I just don't have this thing now that like
Mhm.
not necessarily that it weighs on me, but it's just like
It's
something
like
I
having a
carried.
Skyrim save for so long. You made a character, you had a whole backstory from. You're like, you know what? Fuck it, new save.
Yeah, exactly. Kinda.
I want
Yeah,
to be a
but
wood
it's
elf.
just like,
Fuck it.
like it's
To be
just
fair,
such
Ben,
a
I don't think you
weird.
didn't really change it up that much. You're still being a based Heisenberg-esque kind of man. You didn't.
Oh no,
You need
like
to.
that's probably never going to really change. But just like not having that anymore, it's like it's liberating a little bit. Like it's done. It's over. Like I don't.
Can't relate. Couldn't be me. I've had this blog has gone through schizophrenic changes. It'll never stop
Yeah.
until I kill myself.
God, man. Like.
Which hopefully will involve a like construction vehicle where I drive at full speed drunk into a
No,
building
Yemmer,
and
what's going to
collapse on
happen
me.
is you're going to kill yourself by living to a ripe old age. That's what's going to happen.
I'm gonna like literally as I'm having a heart attack, I'll have like one of those Martyrdom bombs like in Call of Duty, so when I die, my head still explode. So I still get the last laugh. I'm in an old folks home, so instead of the bell with like fucking Frang, I'm just like in there and I'm just kind of like, oh, I guess I die now. And then
So
I'm
Yemmer, I love
flop over and
that
explode.
somebody is messaging you on Tumblr asking if I were banned and like referring to me by my first name.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you know me that well, like you should probably know me. On
I
other
think
platforms.
I'm assuming it's someone who watches the show and then
Probably.
probably click the live button.
Which is
my
fair. I
assumption.
mean, honestly, again, Rocky Mountain Jew
Well,
Hadid, like
what? There's like a couple hundred people, but like, really, how many people follow you on Tumblr who know you as Ben, and then
so. I'm after a couple of days of remaking my new blog. I'm already up to about 130 followers again. But like, I want to say I was almost at 10,000 followers on Based Heisenberg.
Yeah, I
before
think
got
I remember
deleted.
we discussed follower counts. You had like a couple thousand more than I did.
yeah,
It's
that
like,
sounds right.
You both
So-
you both like cool gun shit. It makes it easier.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I'm a
like-
schizophrenic mess for like every political ideology to follow me and then hate half the shit on our blog or like, and then they like the other shit regardless of ideology. It's fucking great.
That's just
I
bisexual.
totally don't have like a schizophrenic follow list.
Of course not.
Here's the plastic that Kim K took out of her ass. Answer.
What?
Funny gift. Animated.
Y-
I'm also
you
getting
know-
a new phone. If you guys aren't aware, I have an iPhone 8 Plus that has this crack on it. This top metal part is literally being held together by Scotch tape. I'm not kidding.
Based.
I've had this phone since at least 2016, but definitely before then. Wait, no, I was 19 with the army thing, so it'd make me like it was like I've had this thing for like 5 years at least, give or take. Let's at least say that I've had this thing for at least 5 years. I think is a relatively realistic number. I finally ordered a new phone because it literally like shut down like for 2 days straight. Couldn't text, call anyone. You just keep starting up. I charge it, it would die or like go black screen on me. But I'm iPhone's worst nightmare. I'm somebody who will literally keep these phones until they die, or then complain that I can't transfer storage via hard drives. To the point that I will literally find someone third party to do it if I have to. I don't think I have to because it's not dying the same way I did the other day, but still. Gay sex.
Mm-hmm. All right, boys. Anything else we need to cover? I think we have actually gotten everything. Like inflation, we're just not. It's a 40-year high. It sucks. It's whatever. Like
It's high, but if you work a job that makes money,
Can
you
I
gotta work
can I
like that.
mention that I did the math on a post reply to your former blog, Ben,
Past
that
tense, blood. Past tense. Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
RIP, that it would take a 30% reduction from the housing prices when interest rates were at an all-time low for
Oh, I remember you just fucking gigantic
affordability.
sheet of math. I couldn't fucking understand a thing.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So what I was trying to say was that it would take from when
Explain it to a
the in-
retard, aka me, right now.
when
Simplify
the
as best you can. Big
when
number, do
interest
bad number. What happened?
when interest rates were at their lowest in fall of September 2021.
Okay.
It would take a 30% price drop from list prices then to equal the affordability that we have today based on today's interest rates. And so based on like the peak prices, we're talking about a 45 to 50% interest rate drop. Or not sorry,
price
a
rate.
45 to 50% price drop.
I have read a couple of places here where they are forecasting like around a 30% drop in housing prices, which obviously
I think
like,
30% is reasonable from the
Yeah.
high.
yeah,
But
But-
still,
yeah.
people who bought at the low interest rate are going to be ahead
Mhm.
on housing affordability, at least. Maybe not the gross. Well, no, on the gross price they'll be still ahead. But like, yeah, if you spent like I think I used a $250,000 house, which is like a starter home for most millennials or something like that, which isn't true for most markets, like especially if you're in like a big city like Salt Lake or Denver or
New
you know,
York.
New York. Yeah, right. Like I'm not even talking about East Coast cities where the starter price is like $500,000 or
Mhm.
$750,000.
Well, you gotta hope at least a person's job is at least close enough to kind of equate for that, which generally isn't, by the way. At least from what I've noticed.
No, it's not at all.
You get
right?
a
Yeah.
shitty apartment in Queens. In my case here, you get an apartment in Queens and or Brooklyn in the cheaper-ish areas before they get all fucking crackered out. Whatever the actual like definition is, I can't think of the word. What is it called when a bunch of like white crackers come into
gentrification.
gentrification before it gets gentrified. So before a bunch
Come
of rich
on,
crackers come in,
they've been using that word for a decade
Oh
now. Come
no,
on,
our
man.
housing values
Good.
are going up and there's less crime. How awful.
Oh no.
Oh no, this woman who's been here for 30 years can't afford to live here due to nothing she did wrong.
Oh no.
This poor woman.
Oh.
Yeah, no, the worst part is I worked in Williamsburg for a while, at a couple of buildings. Actually, right next to Williamsburg Bridge, right across from Peter Luger's. Actually, I do not remember the word gentrify, even though an entire place is gentrified out the fucking wazoo.
So I will
That
say
being
that when it
said-
comes to like food, restaurants, and shit like that, barbecue especially, like what gentrification does to the food in an area is absolutely unforgivable. Like we can all agree on that.
Yeah, no, I'd rather
Oh,
I'd
yeah,
rather
it's
get stabbed again than
ridiculous.
eat shitty brisket for 30 fucking bucks.
Oh my god, and all the
Yeah,
sides are extra.
because I fucking like this is my I was a line cook for a while and like I
course you were.
learned how to
You
cook
look
from
like
my
you were a
Look like
line cook for a while.
you piece of shit.
Oh fuck you!
You look
fuck
like you
you.
committed a felony. But you're too handsome and
I
you're too pretty
have.
to like actually have done
The
it.
first
but you
thing
look
you
like
I
say to your
have,
representatives
but I
is
never got
legalize
caught.
weed.
That's the thing.
would.
So
You carry a gun in your backyard planting grass. You fucking homo. Line cook.
I plant trees. Okay, I
Plant
I bet
trees.
you
What a
do.
shit about
fucking
plant
hippie.
grass.
Max, can
I'm
I
all
come buy
about-
some tree from you?
Hey,
Can you grow that tree to a certain length so I can cut it off and get the sap from it? You know what I'm
Whoa,
saying,
why
bro?
are we cutting off at a certain length? I don't like that. Why are we cutting?
Whoa,
We're
what do you
cut.
mean? Oh, come on.
We're already
Go
cut,
back
but-
to your bar mitzvah, asshole.
I already have my bar mitzvah, asshole.
Oh, well, then
What's
it's
the
already been
Italian
cut
version
off,
of a bar mitzvah?
dick.
A gabagoo
don't
mitzvah?
need one.
Like, what do you have?
We have delicious food every day. You got potato pancakes and latkes, which are fucking delicious, mind
We
you.
got brisket.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Do you
Let's
have that
start
one
with the-
dessert with the like? There's like there's a dessert you guys have with like raisins involved or something with bread?
I don't
There's a
even
bread
wanna know.
raisinish something.
Like
I can't
challah
remember
bread.
what it
There's
is.
challah
Challah?
bread by itself, but like it doesn't
Yeah.
have to have
No,
raisins.
no, it's something
'cause
else.
Raisins in anything is sacrilege.
There's something else I can't think of right now. There's not any other Jews in the chat who can like help elevate my memories of like good Judaic food because I've had so much.
If there are any
Yeah,
other
like-
Jews in the chat, please come forth now. You will not
Any
be harmed.
members of the
This
tribe
should
in
have
the
been the
chat?
chat before in the pre-show because Ben and I were talking about like how I was maybe thinking about dating my ex who is Jewish, and we like literally
Oh,
did
she's
Shabbat.
Jewish? You didn't tell me
Yeah.
that.
No,
Whoa,
she's
pause,
Jewish
pause.
and like goes to synagogue every week. And
Does she
Well,
have
that being
those?
said,
Does she
I've
have
never-
those? Hang on, let me
No,
get, elongate my
no.
nose on my little sound filter here. Does she have big Khazar milkers?
yes.
Don't answer that.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer that. Okay. I was gonna say,
Mr.
I remember-
Shapiro, welcome to the chat.
But no,
Yeah,
like
statistically, you should go to Israel every fucking year.
honestly, I've never
Stupid.
been to like a church service before outside of a wedding.
Yeah, really? Wow.
I've
that's
never been
impressive.
baptized or anything like that.
Oh, you're going straight, bro. Come here, join the Roman Catholics, bro. We ignore the Pope most of the time, anyways.
Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, my dad's Catholic, but the
Noted.
fucking like the only ever relationship or the only church, I shouldn't say church. The only religious services I've ever been to are like Jewish services with it.
They're pretty
They're
bomb,
fucking
aren't they?
fun.
Yeah.
They're fucking fun. They're a good time.
They are nice.
They're a
I
great
like
fucking
them.
time. I don't.
And then-
you know, they're
And then the
fucking
Shabbat dinner on Friday nights, like you hang out with a bunch of friends and have like challah bread and like.
Well, yeah, I
like,
mean,
Challah.
listen, Judaic
Hold
religion
on,
is a-
hold on,
Oh.
Max.
Challah
Challah. Thank you.
Challah
Challah
bread.
bread. Challah bread.
It's
Hey,
it's
you
like
guys want to
L'chaim.
celebrate Chanukah this year? Like Jesus,
Yeah,
L'chaim.
no, it's
No, yeah, I'm
it's
sorry,
a
I'm sorry.
L'chaim.
Thank you, fellow New Yorker. Thank you.
Yeah, I just love.
No,
that.
yeah, I admit, I'm sorry. Yeah,
It's fine.
It's,
You
Goyim.
live in a cold state in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Why would you know Hebrew? I've to be fair, I went to a bar mitzvah, whatever for a guy. I remember I was like
Bar.
14 or something. I remember sitting there and I'm like feeling my teeth. I literally rip out a molar while he's reading the fucking like Quran, the Torah. I'm like just sitting there. I'm
Quran.
I mixed him up. So he's
That
reading
wasn't
the
a bar
Quran,
mitzvah.
right? It was the Islamic bar mitzvah. I'm like sitting there with like 3 of my friends. One of them is Islamic as well, and the other guy's like Irish, so he's Roman Catholic by default, king. I literally sit there,
Everybody's got a
he's
bomb
reading-
in that audience. Holy shit.
and he's there. He's reading the fucking like the Torah, not the Quran, but also it could be the Quran. I don't remember.
And
Whatever.
there's a bunch of
Sounds. I'm
It
just
uses the
sitting
same
there,
source code. It's the same shit.
And I literally am like playing with like a tooth. Like it's kind of loose. I rip it out, and a bunch of blood just starts coming out. I'm like constantly swallowing it or like just doing this, and like just like having to like hide it. And I looked at my friend like, "Hey man, tooth fell out." And I don't remember the rest of that day. I'm gonna be honest, but I remember ripping a tooth out and bleeding an absurd amount at a bar mitzvah.
You
And
should
to
have
say the
just like
least-
stood up and just spit blood everywhere and run out of the room and be like, "God, that's for taking us on." Just leave.
I just start speaking
Hepatitis,
Aramaic.
the rainbow.
I've got
hepatitis
Tay-Sachs.
just
Ah!
Just start speaking Aramaic, and my head just starts spinning around. It's like, oh no, we let an Italian here. We know the last time what happened with the Romans.
Here's the thing: it wouldn't be that strong of a reaction. Like you'd go running out of the room and they were like, "Oy vey, was this guy?" You invite one Italian.
Oh,
Anyway, continue, Rabbi. Continue. The
to
bear's
be
on
fair,
an hour.
in New
No,
York,
I need to be
for-
legit. Like I observe Lent, and then but like I've never been baptized, and the only religious services I've ever been to are Judaic.
Mm.
So, just
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
a
at least
man-
you
You're a
you've
man
had,
with
like,
no
pretty much,
country.
like- Yeah, you kind of like had to. You just have to go to like, like you gotta go to like a Muslim like kind of like religious meeting, and you kind of like got all
Honestly,
done.
I thought about converting to Islam for a
Okay,
long
well,
time.
don't do that because you're gonna be a red flag with your fucking arrow.
You are
whatever
yeah.
the fuck you do. You're gonna be a
Oh,
nightmare.
the number of guns I own plus being Islamic, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or
Perfect.
converting to Islam at a
TSA is
just
gonna
we're just
love
gonna
you.
ignore your entire. We're gonna ignore your entire career path. That wouldn't look fucking like a problem. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm a pretty stable guy. Like this is why the FBI, like they know me, but like they don't bother me because they're like, oh yeah, like he fucking like
Yeah,
owns a
it's
home
like that whole
and like
where,
has
like,
a
the
stable career path and
like for you,
everything
like the
that.
FBI is actually a legitimate thing that probably has some actual legitimate like file on you because of like what you do. Meanwhile, like most people on Tumblr, like this guy's a
Have
fed.
I not-
Like at best, he's
Have I
fed.
not told you like the FBI has visited me before?
I feel like that's something we probably shouldn't talk publicly.
It's fine. Continue, Max.
When I was 14.
That story. That doesn't count. I mean, it counts, but it doesn't
Okay.
count the same
No,
way
but
as
like
it would count now. You know what I
they
mean?
still keep a file. Like there's no way they don't keep a file on me.
I mean, I've said before, given all the jobs and also the fact I enlisted, like I have my fingerprints and a lot of my like information is in several federal databases by default. My fingerprints are at least 5 or 6 government like records.
Come to
Anyway,
think of it, I
JC's
actually
asking,
have this.
how do I observe Lent? Since that's the most boring part of Catholicism.
You just pick something you like and give it up for a month. That's what you
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
pick
if you're a
something you
true
like
Catholic,
and you don't give
need
it
to
up.
be fucking miserable for a bit.
I usually give up caffeine for all of Lent, and then sometimes alcohol too. So
do.
just spend 40 days without doing
Booze.
caffeine or alcohol.
Yeah, I don't really
Miserable.
do the Lent thing. I'm gonna be honest because I don't really do much that's like bad for me outside of like 2 things, which is alcohol and redacted, and I generally don't do them pretty consistently when I'm working.
Give up gay
So
sex
like
for
it's
Lent.
not. No. This is a good extended episode, guys. I like how Ben tried to cut us off like an asshole. What a dick, huh? I want to play by the rules and the numbers. What a government crony, huh?
Yeah. So
Can I-
so
Can I
Yimra, the
write,
message.
Max?
Yimra, the message you just got. Ben got banned. What happened? Matt literally just got the exact same anon.
You should do that IP tracker thing.
I don't have that anymore, man. My blog got deleted.
It takes like 2 minutes to do. I had
Right,
someone
yeah.
from South.
No,
Wait,
it
real
doesn't
quick.
work. I can't edit HTML code. Actually, maybe I can.
You
can't.
have to reset
It's
the
not
whole
that
thing. You have to
hard,
restart the
man.
whole thing.
No,
You
like
have to
I can.
literally
No, I don't mean like I don't know how. I know how to edit HTML code. I just didn't know. Like, do you still have access to that on Tumblr? Can you edit your blog's HTML code for themes and shit?
You put it into your description box. And
I know
shows
how
up
it
as,
works.
like a phantom text. Okay,
Yeah,
well, yeah,
I
you
know,
can
I
still
know
do
how
that.
this works. Okay.
Okay, then you can still do it. I don't know.
Okay.
That being said, my favorite thing was every once in a while I check it just for Annan to make sure it wasn't like some fucking creep who was like,
Sorry,
you
did
know,
you say
like
Annans?
yeah.
Annans?
Are you really gonna criticize how I talk?
Do you go
Are
to
we
the
this
store
far
with
to this
coupons?
Are we this far into the show and you're still
Coupons and
not?
biscuits.
You're still having issues with this?
That
I'm
being
having
said,
issues with this. Yimra, can I have a coupon?
okay, you can have Cummins.
I don't want a cumin. I don't want a cumin. I have a gas
You
engine.
don't want a comment?
No.
That being said, my favorite part was every once in a while there'd be clearly like I know like when like a couple people who like I'm good with like either like outside of Tumblr or not like we're like checking, and
Mhm.
mostly for me it was just more of like just to see like my demographic overall of like regions, but then there was just like a few places that were just really out of the fucking blue. Like there's just some motherfucker in South Africa who loves my blog. I have no idea. Like no one has ever messaged me where it's like any reference to anything like South Africa. Like at least someone's from like Norway or like from a certain country. Like hey, like this thing here, like this is this thing. They like message me like DM or inbox or like anonymous message. No,
Just some guy in South Africa or gal
I
or they them.
had-
That's just
fucking loves my blog. I don't know.
I actually
they're a
had
fucking
several.
spy.
I had several dedicated listeners from Moscow. Like way before like any shit
Well,
ever
you
really
post
happened
guns,
with Russia.
so that makes sense.
Well, that does make sense, but I just find it interesting. Like Moscow, Saudi Arabia, I've seen New Arab Emirates.
The second you post
God.
guns, you kind of get a very diverse pool of men from all countries, quite frankly. Regardless.
Plus,
of
like,
where country.
unfortunately, I did have my like Coomer phase like back in like the early 2010s, so there was some graphic material on my blog, which, of course, I stopped posting that shit, but it's there, so like it shows.
Yeah, that's the
up and
one
shit.
problem of having a blog that old. When someone's like, "Oh, look at this thing you
Yeah.
made," like posted, like, yeah, I was like 16.
Dude, well,
I'm
like that's
literally almost
one of
10
the
years
last
older than
issues
that
I
thing.
was having with my blog was like somebody dug up a 6-year-old post where I was making like a snarky thing about like TV ratings for people who wanted like trigger warnings on shit.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And I was just like, can you all just go outside? Like,
Can
I
you
don't
have, like,
care.
Gay sex at least.
Seriously,
with somebody that
calm
loves you.
down. At least like fuck yourself if you have to, but just fuck something.
Make your own
Just
post at that point.
Make your own
'Cause
post.
you'd have to probably go out of your way, or like, because yeah, that post was old as fuck. If I remember.
It
right.
was 6 years old, at least. At least it was 6 years old. It was probably a little bit older than that because it was way more than 6 years old. I
Oh
wanna say it's
man,
probably
you should
like
have
8 or
left it
9.
at least 6 years old. I would have made a good joke.
Yimmer, I know I said 6 years old, and you're like, oh really? Time to
I
make
had to
another
jump
gay
on
person.
it.
Oh, pederasty. Here we go. But actually, that's pedophilia at that point. But like, dude, like,
That's not nice.
yeah.
Don't
Sorry, Max.
suggest
That's
that of me.
pedophilia at that point. Okay.
I make it. I'm trying. I said
That's
like,
all I joined for. What the
Ben-
fuck?
I made a.
Ben said-
I was mentioning a 6-year-old
wait, wait, wait,
post,
wait.
and Yimra
Ben,
was.
Ben set up a joke. that
So
was
I
perfect
mentioned
for
a
me. It just
6-year-old
said,
post,
I wanted to have sex with a
And
6-year-old.
Yimra
We're
said,
off to
"Oh,
a great
I could make a
conversation.
joke about 6-year-olds or something like that." And I was like, "Oh, you would?
Yeah.
You're about to create another gay person, you pederast." And I was like, "That's just straight pedophilia at that point." So that's exactly how that happened. Yeah.
Nope.
Wait,
Welcome
no,
back,
wait,
Max.
wait. What's the difference? Wait, pause. What's the difference between a pederast and a pedophile? It's just pedophile, isn't it?
I
Just-
pretty much, I guess.
I think it's just a
don't know.
pedophile that usually does gay sex.
Here's the thing. I don't want to debate that. It's like, no, ephebophilia is different. It's when it's
Oh,
a
no, I thought
teenager.
pederast
Pedophile.
was
It's like
just
I don't.
more of like a less.
Wood chipper
like,
don't
common-
care. Wood chipper don't care.
Yeah, I'm about to say pederast just seems like a term specifically for like gay anal sex.
Wood
Which-
chipper
I'm
accepts
like-
all ages.
Can you think of a more unforced heir than the Arizona Libertarian Senate Libertarian candidate fucking bringing up age of consent as a democratic virtue?
Wasn't this the same guy who mentioned about like white people and like economics or something like that, or is that somebody else?
What kind
I'm
of
not
social
sure. I don't know.
suicide do you have to like? That's like the ultimate social suicide is to be like a politician for a libertarian party and then talk about age of consent and like that wouldn't immediately get you shot on sight.
No,
just for,
like
the
you talk
conversation
about
politically.
anything else, right? Like talk about drug legalization. Talk
Well,
about
that's-
fucking.
Talk about
So for
Like,
a
I'm-
while, that was funny because like the libertarian, liberal right lib like side of the spectrum was like, what if the child consents though? Like that whole fucking thing. Now though, we established in like 2019 that is wholly owned by the lib left and Democrats. Like that's
Yeah, right. That no,
minus this
chi-
one
children
libertarian
cannot
guy.
consent to gender reassignment
Absolutely
and
not.
fucking
castration
sex
drugs.
either.
Sorry, puberty blockers.
And castration drugs and fertility treatment. And,
That being
and
said, if you're a trans
so on.
person, you have spare testosterone. If I can buy it off of you, I have some bodybuilder friends who could really use the testosterone. I clearly don't even make the joke
How-
that I use
how
it
do
because I
you-
do not look like I've ever been near testosterone in the sense of muscle gain. I'll say that much. These eyebrows say testosterone, though. I'll say that.
They say so.
how do you fucking cultivate testosterone off of a trans person?
Oh well,
I
no,
don't
they
even know.
buy the drugs of TRT or like testosterone and like male hormone stuff. You give it to somebody who's doing bodybuilding, they get fucking swank.
It's like an episode of Hannibal where like there's a serial killer who's like farming trans people for extra testosterone or some shit and like selling it on the
Tell me,
black market.
Clarice, do you dress in your father's clothes?
Ah, good reference, but not that. Oh Jesus, not that Hannibal though. Mads Mikkelsen Hannibal.
I can't do
I
his
love
voice. I'm sorry.
Anthony
I
Hopkins Hannibal. That's the best one.
You
I
come
had
in
some
here
fava
with your
beans and
good
an
bag
ass
and your cheap shoes.
He's just like a gay southerner. Is my
He
favorite
is.
part of that accent. He's just a gay southerner.
It's like, and another thing, Senator, love the suit.
Love this suit.
Wait. I can do Buffalo Bill with the vape. My voice gets deep enough for it.
Was she a great big fat person?
Was she a great big fat person?
Oh my god.
Wait.
It puts the lotion on its skin, or it gets the hose again.
I just love it. Like brings me like 2 octaves down for no reason. I also realize I keep talking in a way higher tone than I naturally ever used to the point that I'm now just used to it because I used to talk in a monotone.
That's
talking
what
in a monotone is
happens
really
when you
boring.
have gay sex.
I mean, yeah, we could just ignore any history with me. That's okay.
When
No
your
no
when
no
your
Yimra
stink
lore this
here
episode.
gets perforated,
What?
you're gonna have adjustments to your vocal
I'm
register.
drinking so much for a loco. I almost made about 12 extremely racially insensitive jokes. Let's have more.
Let's bring it. You got anything else you want to say about the Japanese before we go?
Listen, those Yakuza games are pretty good.
I love the fucking Japanese because like here, you know what? Maybe you don't realize in fucking New York City is that all of the Japanese that originally lived in California got deported to Utah and Wyoming and Colorado
Well, that's always that
in
whole
World
joke
War
in those
II.
movies where like
And
an
like
Asian guy.
I'm best friends with all of them. Like
Mhm.
I don't. It's like for me, like being racist against Japanese. I'm like, oh, that's my best friend.
If
Like,
Max
what the
wants,
fuck?
he can absolutely have a Mitsubishi Zero up and running in 24 hours, but that's a secret.
Yeah,
That's not a secret
actually,
anymore,
yes. Yeah,
jackass.
that's completely true.
Bonsai! Bonsai!
Like,
She
all-
threw up there.
our cities are basically like, okay, there's the Chinese like rail coolie population,
My phone's dead. Awesome.
and then there's the Japanese internment camp population, and then there's the white people who made them do both of those things.
And then you have the
and
Mormons.
then some like other dudes who came here from like Norway, I would imagine, right? It's probably a lot of Scandinavian guys over there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh well, I'm one of the Scandinavian guys.
I would say because a lot of
Inga Durgan
immigrants,
Durgan.
like what I've noticed is a lot of immigrants will go to like regions that are very similar to their own, but in some cases it's really funny to me because like if you're from like Norway or Finland, why in the fuck would you want to go somewhere that's just as cold when you go to somewhere nice and warm, or just like
I don't want to go there. It's too nice and different. I go to
Some-
Milwaukee.
Some people like that shit,
Oh,
man.
dude, we haven't done enough German boy voice in,
Oh, God.
in this
I'm just
episode.
doing
We have
Scandinavian shitty. Yeah, so do a little German boy voice where he goes to Actually, there's a lot of Germans in New York too. So I guess talk about Wiener Schnitzel in World War One, and they're not allowed to sell it anymore, and they get beaten
Oh,
up in the streets.
It's hilarious because I have to or I had
You had.
I had this moment where I was explaining that like yeah my great grandfather served in World War One,
Hmm.
and he served his country. You know,
Hmm.
it was Germany, but
Well, it's World War One. It's not even as
It's
evil.
World War I,
It's not
yeah.
like evil or anything. Like it's not like bad. Like no one was like a bad guy during that war. At least as
no,
individuals.
exactly right. Like
No one's going
yeah.
around committing war crimes, generally speaking, as the individual. Like World War II was just like everyone's committing war crimes.
I mean,
Which nation? Look up a nation. They probably didn't.
the
want.
Germans did start with the mustard gas. There was that.
Yeah, and then the other guys were like, "Oh shit, we've had that at the ready. We're just waiting for someone else to do it first."
And then the Americans were like, "Oh, cool, shotguns." And everyone's like, "Wait,
Yeah.
wait, no, no."
Wait! No! I fucking
In a-
I love that
in
man's
a
voice.
fucking
I do it
trench.
all the time when I'm alone. It's
in
really
a fucking
insane.
trench, you're just like, wait, no.
Wait! John Bernthal might be unironically one of the more based actors because I read that I have to like find the Google story about John Bernthal almost punching the lights out of a director. John Bernthal fight with director. The puns are, oh yeah, okay. This one where he was doing that with Nick Cage. Punisher's John Bernthal on that time he threatened to beat up Oliver Stone. I have to find the direct quote. Let me tell you something, dude. You might be Oliver Stone, but I'll beat your fucking ass right here on this set in front of everybody here. I will beat your ass. You got that? And Nicolas Cage said, "Wow, man, there was adversity, and you threw more adversity at it." Nicolas Cage saying that to John Bernthal. Absolutely based man right there. He's also like, I've watched like some stuff about him where he's like, supposedly he's like just a fucking like street baller piece of shit back in the day, like, and also a theater fag. He's like a modern Al Pacino in that sense, kind of a theater fag, but like Al Pacino was going to go to jail for having an illegal weapon on him, but his friend kind of was like, "You're going to be a big actor one day. I'll take the charge." And John Bernthal, got into fights and broke his nose like 19 times, which is hence why he
Sounds
has
like
an
Biggie
absolute
Smalls.
based- Biggie Smalls, I don't know much of his previous life outside of rap. I don't know if he like committed rape or
So
anything.
this is,
so
of
I'm not gonna
course,
stand
most
by
of what I know about Biggie Smalls is from that movie that P Diddy put out that everybody hated because it made P Diddy seem like the archangel of truth in Biggie Smalls' life. Which
Yeah, I don't know if Biggie Smalls was like a complete scumbag or only a little bit of a scumbag.
I
So I can't
mean,
really stand by anything on
he
him.
sold crack when he was a kid to get money.
Oh, that's fine.
And
That's
like,
fine.
well,
Selling
so
crack when you're a
the
kid
big
in
thing
like
is
Bed-Stuy,
like,
Brownsville.
I don't exactly remember the circumstances of this, but like him and his friend got caught or pulled over by the cops, and like there was a gun in the car, and his friend was like, "Yeah, dude, I'll take it. Like, I'll say it was mine.
Yeah.
Just deny it, and I'll take the charge." And he was in jail for like 3 years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay, I mean, yeah, no, okay. If that's all he's done, then like Biggie Smalls not that bad. Selling crack when you're a kid in like the '80s era of like New York is pretty understandable.
Yeah, that's like,
Especially if you're living in
it's
the
like
Bedside
selling
Brownsville
lemonade.
area, like
Mm.
yeah, it's like during the crack epidemic in Bedside Brownsville in the '80s. Like, what the fuck else are you gonna do? Like, unironically, like economically speaking, your options are pretty shit.
Mm.
Not undoing anyone's attempt to get out of poverty in those areas in those times, but
So
selling
Max,
crack's a pretty good option.
Max, do you have any? What would you like to use as your German boy phrase of the night?
Talk about gay sex. Talk about
Wait,
grimace.
no, we had one that came up like a week ago.
If you want to be
because-
really insensitive and talk about like the Germans like energy issues in a German boy voice, and be really insensitive, that's a good one.
No, I wrote something out and I need to find it. It would be the nice thing to do.
Well, he's finding it. I might possibly be getting a job. I can't say what exact field it is for the sake of always
Sex
trying
work.
to be one step ahead. That too, step ahead of anyone who's trying to stalk me. But it will probably make me a lot of money. It would keep me in New York, but I could technically like live out of the state, but close to like the 5 boroughs, and or like the general metro area. So I mean that's something. It would involve construction, so like the schedule would at least be not also complete
I'm looking
garbage.
on Tumblr for this German boy quote, and I should be looking on fucking Discord.
I was gonna say, I think you dropped it in our Discord chat.
Yeah, what was it in the general chat or was it?
Let's see.
Well, my phone's done. I have to use my computer. Actually, I fucking hate using computers. So one thing, I'm like the worst part. Like in my generation, I have like no excuse. Like I know a decent amount of computer shit. I just fucking hate using them. Like I was literally in the generation of like you could learn basic computer stuff without it being a pain, and now like if you want to learn computers, you're fucked without going to college.
Dude, no, yeah, you can still learn basic
You
computer
can still
stuff
learn it, but I
without
feel like there's a
even going
bigger
to
learning
college.
curve. Like if you learned it young, like when I was a kid, where like computers were like not necessarily simpler, but like I guess the learning curve for it's a little different. At least that's how I see it.
Dude, learning how to fucking mod games
Oh, I've done that already.
in the like early 2000s to mid 2000s was like the like literally is worth a bachelor's in fucking computer
Bro,
science.
listen, the second I got Fallout New Vegas on a computer, that was it. I put as much of those fucking mods on there. I played a DLC, basically a fucking campaign. That shit was awesome.
I
It did
spent
involve
so
weird shit.
many
God.
hours rewriting directories and installing systems files into like Microsoft Flight Simulator 2004 that I probably
Oh, you're
should
just
actually had.
autistic. You're
I
just
should have.
autistic, Ben. That
I
doesn't
should
count.
have had a CIS degree. Like,
No, you're just autistic. That doesn't count.
yes,
You're just autistic.
yes, I am. My score was 84, motherfucker. Like we established this.
Mine was the lowest, by the way.
That's because you're gay.
No, to be fair, I've had a discussion with somebody who has a legitimate belief that I may be actually autistic. I was never diagnosed correctly, and then I had to explain that I have brain damage. But I still like it was like I was like, I know, but I pick up like social cues. I'm very socially aware. I just kind of don't care sometimes. It's like, yeah, you still be socially aware and autistic. It's like that's kind of like the whole point, at least in my head, as far as I understand autism, which clearly isn't true. But it's just a different way of thinking that isn't out the standard spectrum of like thinking. That being said, I'm not autistic. I've been tested. I'll say it. That being said, I do be having lesions on the front of my head, in my brain, not
I know
not
where
on
else.
my actual
I
forehead.
guess I can guess where else you're having lesions.
In my rectum.
Yes.
Hector's rectum is real.
All right, guys. So
What is-
we're approaching 2 hours here. So
So,
what else do we want to cover?
What you got work tomorrow?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, okay. Can't relate right now.
Mm.
I gotta wait to do drug tests and shit.
Sucker.
Their piss test, I'll be fine.
Isn't that legal in New York now? Why are you still getting piss tested?
Yeah, right.
Listen, for certain jobs, I'm gonna be honest. I'll take a fit. I don't give a shit. Like taking pisses is fine. If it was like hair or blood, I'd be probably screwed.
Oh, same.
But like urine test, like whatever. Like I'm gonna buy like a home kit just to be sure. But I'm like 100% sure I should be clean anyways. I haven't really messed around with anything in quite a while. Overall. So, but I mean, for certain jobs, like if you're gonna get a job that pays once you're like nearing six figures, I can kind of get why like they don't want you if you can't like be clean for a certain amount of time just to take a test.
Yimra, I'm going to
probably
be
not
real with
responsible
you.
enough.
I am approaching 6 figures, and I have not been drug tested either at the start of my job nor at any point during my employment, and I will not going forward. And by this
You work
time
in
next year,
sales, bro. They don't
I
want
know.
you. They want you taking drugs. They
True,
want you taking
actually,
drugs.
yeah.
The amount of people who
But
take
I'm
drugs
also
in most industries is
Gimra.
insane.
I'm in sales management, so not only do I sell, I also manage, and I'm still not getting tested.
That being said, do you ever need another guy with sales experience over there? You know, from New York, who's handsome and charming,
But not as obviously as robustly built.
So
and
in
muscular
my
as you.
store down where I'm at, maybe not, but like up in like 20 minutes north of me in Salt Lake
Yeah.
City, you would do numbers. I am absolutely
Okay.
serious.
Okay.
100%.
I gotta see about this job because this job, if I get it, which I think I should have no problem with my I have an OSHA 30 and a bunch of other like background shit to help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I financially will be set for life as long as I work the job and don't kill myself.
It's one of those jobs. Okay.
It's one of those. It's one of those union jobs where it's like if everything's done right, I should be okay. And it's like the only negative is like I'd be pretty much stuck in like New York, but with the amount of money I would have, like.
Here's the
That
thing,
would
though.
really be a
Like,
problem.
if you build some savings for a couple of years and like you develop your craft and like you're unionized, like you can
Mhm.
transfer somewhere else and just get
Oh
a
yeah,
job doing
totally.
the same thing
But
easy.
like, if the other places, like obviously, if it was a little bit less, no big deal. But I mean, the amount of like money and like how the union is run in this state
Mhm.
and at like the local whatever that I'm not gonna say, like it'd be really stupid not to like completely just take as much of it as long as I could
Of course, but here's the thing.
until I want to like move
When
out
you
properly.
account
and, like,
for the cost of living change you will experience by moving out of New York, even
Yeah.
if you're making the same amount of money, you'll keep more of it.
No, of course. But here's the thing. I'm going to I don't want to even be like a dick and flex a little bit, but I'm going to put into another chat how much
I should be pretty much making once I start. Once I start outside, like not even like just brand new. Like that's just starting. But I should be making basically.
Yeah. Well,
Not bad.
And that's in a New York like a New York metro area union. So you know all the health benefits and everything comes with it. It's like you kind of have to be a retard not to take advantage of that. Like if I have to live in New York and suffer a little bit in that sense, I think that's pretty fair. For
You're gonna get
quite a while.
They're gonna rape you in taxes at that tax bracket. They're going
That's
to rape
that's what accountants are for.
you. Okay,
you get good accountants.
true. Lots of
Plus,
Jewish
I don't.
accounts in
Bro.
New
You
York.
know, I'm a.
if
I'm not,
you're
I don't
if you're,
spend money, so that's also a good thing for me. Is like they tax me a bit. I get a bunch of money on back taxes that I don't, need to be taxed.
Yeah,
for.
in all honesty, at that amount of money, like within a year, you should have enough money. Like if you stay living at home, you should have enough
Yeah.
money to like move out of New York within a year.
I could, but yet again, like with a union like this,
You-
I don't think I'd want to. I don't think I'd want to leave the first year in. That's just one. Just
okay,
I would
do
stay
this
a
for
bit.
2 years, save every penny you can,
And
Yeah.
just get
Oh
the
well,
fuck
I
out.
don't.
and
I
you
don't
will
spend
be able
money.
to buy outright a home
Yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I don't spend money.
somewhere
I
out
literally,
west.
I physically cannot spend a lot of money. I actually like physically don't feel comfortable doing it. Like I don't
You sure you're not
need
Jewish?
anything. I'm Italian, so
Hmm.
we've had a lot of experience with you moneylender types, so we kind of took some notes. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I've also dated mostly Jewish people, so I've kind of taken a lot of notes in there.
You and Max just not immune from the big Khazar milkers. Like just.
I mean, to be fair, where I live, it's kind of like your options are pretty much Italian women, which are like Hispanic women, but louder somehow.
Somehow.
And then Jewish women.
See, in Utah here, it's like it's either Hispanic women or 6 foot tall blondes. So,
and that all being said, obviously, and yet again, this is where I have to preface before someone fucking shits themselves. This does not mean everyone is Italian or Jewish. This is exactly how I'm stating it. This is the general marker of the people I end up dating. And AK, I've dated like one Italian chick, and actually, she was the exception to the rule. She was not allowed, like it was overly like not overly emotional kind of person, but like not the stereotypical like intensely emotional.
I don't think I have ever actually dated a Jewish girl, and like frankly, the concept of dating a Jewish girl to me is not that appealing for some
Jewish
reason.
guys can't date Jewish girls. This is like a known rule.
Yeah, I know.
It never happens. Outside of like Hasidic, Orthodox, and like normal people, just happen to both be Jewish. Like you don't see it. Jewish guys seem to like black girls. I don't know what it is. It just happens.
Okay, so I did like she wasn't like a practicing.
Why
Jew,
you mean that look? You don't even know, bro.
No. Okay, so she
here.
was not a practicing Jew, but I was dating this girl who like ethnically was probably at least 50% Jewish, probably more.
Okay.
But
was her
not
mother
practicing.
Jewish?
I don't know.
Okay, well then doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I mean,
My mom's not
right,
Jewish.
What?
If Jewishness passes maternally, right?
I mean,
Well, no,
depending on what
it's
sect
part of the religious
Judaism you
belief
follow.
though. Is like the mother passes to, like in the culture, at least as far as I remember, is like if the mother has to be Jewish for like the Jew for some type of like weird like ethnic religious belief within the like the not the church but the Jewish church, what do you want to call it?
It's
The mother has to be Jewish.
ethno-nationalism. Let's be real. It's ethno-nationalism is what it is.
Okay, your
But yeah, for the
ethno-nationalist
most
take is
part, like,
basically the mom has to be Jewish. Generally, not
most
10 times.
mainstream sects of Judaism believe that your mom has to be Jewish for you to just be like, yeah, you're Jewish. Like
To be
if
fully
your dad's,
Jewish, to be
if your
truly a
dad
full
is
Jew.
Jewish, if your dad's Jewish but your mom's not for any reason, you are what's known as a seed of Abraham. Hi.
You're a half caste, as they would say.
Literally,
in other cultures.
I am literally like a half caste. But like, if you
That
look at
sucks.
me,
Can't
I
relate.
don't
Couldn't
look
be
like
Roman
a
Catholic
half
for life.
caste. I look like I just got off the boat from Ashkenazi land. So,
Bro, did I tell you the time where I went to I was like buying a gift for like one of my exes who was Jewish, and I like just gaslighted the employee because I felt kind of bad. Where I was buying like Hanukkah socks or whatever, because I was just at like a dollar store and I was like, I'll pick up a couple like random bullshit items to go with like one big gift, like just kind of like something with a couple small things, just because like fucking like little socks, little Hanukkah socks, they're cute. And she's like, oh. Are you, part of the tribe? And I was like, fuck yeah, bro. I just came back from Israel about a month ago. I had like a really good fresh tan on from working at like a dealership, being out in the sun all day on the fucking lots in New York City. And like, it was just so funny. Like let's be honest. I don't know if the lie's going to help, but you see that nose there. You can think I'm Israeli. And the worst part too is at the time I had two necklaces I have to actually go to a jeweler and get fixed. I have the Archangel Michael shield and a little golden angel, but you didn't see. You just saw two necklaces, like two chains, and no button down. Like the button down covered it. So she's just probably thinking like, this guy's got Star David on him. He's like a nice little handsome Jewish man.
that should have been the giveaway right there. The fact that the button was all the way up with your chains.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa! Pause. That's more of a. Italians don't do that. We let a couple buttons out. We're a little whorish with the buttons. What are you saying?
So do Jewish men. Are you kidding me? Especially if you got a big gold Star David on there. Have you seen my mezuzah? I'm not wearing it right now, but I have a gold mezuzah.
That's pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie. So any religious jewelry is always tough as shit. I don't care if it's even Satanism, as gay as she can be. This is still tough. So you got any religious iconography.
I literally, it's a solid.
I just spilled 4 Loco.
Nice.
Fuck.
Nice.
Right on the keyboard.
Excellent.
This,
All right,
this,
so
this
Yimra's
laptop will never need a charge.
Yimra's about to die in an electrical fire. Max, do you have anything you want to bring up before we
Sure,
end this wonderful podcast?
Jewish women have wonderful breasts.
Okay, how about Jewish men? How are their schlongs?
So what you're saying is, hypothetically, if I were a woman, I would have amazing breasts.
I'd
Yeah,
fuck the shit out of your
hypothetically.
tits. Hypothetically, I would tit fuck your brains
Hypothetically,
out.
yes.
Open myself up for that one. That's fine.
Yeah, you did open yourself up. Female Ben opened herself up. You
How's
gotta
Femra
go
doing, by the way? How's Femra?
Femra?
If
I don't.
somebody's been listening from beginning to end of this podcast, I would say, I wish the thing I had brought up with my state legislator, as they came to my domicile and campaigning to earn my vote. I wish I had said, we need defend the guard legislation, we need marijuana legalization, and we need campus carry, but also we need mandatory government issued Kazar milkers to all men.
I agree. I think friend of the show, Luchador of Liberty, would also agree.
I'm over it. I've had enough. I've had enough of the Khazar milkers. I am gluttoned on the milkers of Khazar. I don't need them no more. I've had enough. I'll donate the Khazar milkers to you.
Okay.
That's not how that works. But emotionally, I've donated what I've received in those times to you. Feel my transfer of energy to you. Imagine your head.
I think I can feel it. In
Feel
my
it, feel
local
it, yeah.
area,
Just-
some woman is
I'm
experiencing.
trying
rapid
to block the
retrograde.
bisexual light out. So let me block this so I can transfer the memories without any gay thoughts get in there. Feel it from here, right?
I'm feeling it.
Speed of light. How quick is the
Feel it.
speed of light from here? You got it? You got it? Oh, he's got
Speedy.
Yeah, I got it.
Got it.
That was
it.
fast.
Ben, I'm gonna give you a little extra. I'm gonna give you a little
Interlinked.
extra. Interlinked. Okay.
Cringe.
Hands interlinked. Your
Cringe.
Okay.
fingers interlinked.
That feeling when no Khazar milker GF. Cringe.
Okay. Also, when are we gonna we're gonna write a little script for that intro where we can just have me and less racist Max over here fucking do that scene. We'll,
Yes, we need to. Okay,
I'll make sure to put on the right outfit. Whoever's gonna be who. Will you be the interviewer or the interviewee?
I'll be the interviewer if you
Okay,
think.
I gotta.
I think you make a better. I think you make a better Blade Runner than me.
So you look closer to Ryan Gosling, but I probably have the emotionless abilities.
Well, I need a-
of
Well,
serial
Max,
killer.
Max, you are. What was your score on the autism scale again?
like 150. Yeah.
So technically, wouldn't you make a better Blade Runner for your baseline?
no,
Like,
I okay. Yeah. So let's swap it. Let's
Yeah.
swap it.
all right.
I'll
Oh, you're gonna
yeah.
be swapping with Yimra. Oh, now you're taking Matt's spot.
Okay.
Hey, listen.
Let me write the
Listen, the
script
second
then
Max
for.
offers me like the cheapest, shittiest tickets to fly over there, like he pays for them, and I room and board at his place, and by that mean I give him the absolute glop 9,000, but he just pays like $97 for like the shittiest airline where I do 5 connecting flights. It's over. This podcast is gonna be me straddled on him like a fucking girlfriend type beat. It's gonna get weird.
Big Italian.
He's gonna be
milkers.
talking about space or some shit. I'll be like, tell me more.
Wait, no, like I'm a dedicated top though. That's the thing.
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, listen. You're gonna financially control me anyway, so I have no choice to leave.
Yimra's gonna have to fly home wearing
only
adult
like
diapers.
once a year you let me even try to top, and then you're like, no, I don't want that. I'm like, okay, and I go in the kitchen right there, and I make you like the best
Fucking Italian food you've ever had in your fucking life.
I literally come in with a gallon of water from like New York. I go to the Hudson River Valley. I just pick it up and I make it a pizza.
Wait, what's your take on chicken French? Because my ex used to
Chicken
make that for
Frenchies?
me. Yeah.
Chicken Frenchies is fine.
Well, no, she called it chicken French because she's fucking not
Well,
Italian.
she's not from over here, so
Well, that's
it
why
doesn't
she's
matter.
your ex, clearly.
It's like Hawaiian. It's like Hawaiian pizza, where like fucking retards freak out about it. It's like it's not a big deal. Like it makes sense. You want savory and sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's
yeah, okay.
it makes sense. Like it's not like a crazy idea. Like, am I going to ever have it? No, because I like savory and sweet. I just don't like pineapple. I don't think I don't like how it tastes on a pizza, but I understand why
Really?
it tastes good. So I'm not retarded.
Oh, wow.
See,
Okay.
see, I still get why it's good. I'm not 12, and I don't shoot the
Okay,
bricks.
yeah.
You won't
don't
eat
shit on it,
pineapple.
but-
You won't eat pineapple on pizza, but you will taste penis.
Max's penis.
Question stands.
And the answer was given. And yet
Okay.
you don't know how to receive.
I
we
don't.
need to end this podcast.
We do.
because
No, we
it's-
don't.
do.
No, this extended episode is getting
No,
off the rails.
ladies and gentlemen, we are actually going to call it before this gets any gayer.
So sex with women.
It's awesome.
It's pretty good.
But
I don't
think
know what
about
it's
it.
like
You're
though.
putting your penis where a bunch of other penises have been, and like,
Mhm.
what's fucking gayer than that shit?
Mm.
I wait 7 years between like the last time they've had sex with a guy, so it's not gay. So I only date like 40-year-old women who've been divorced for like 10 years.
That's your union
And
job.
by that I mean they financially support me, and I don't do anything with the money except for like just bathe in it in the shower and then cry.
Mm.
So if anyone's rich and is a older woman and doesn't want to have sex but wants to give me money,
Jenny.
I no, I would give her money in a non-weird way. I just realized how that sounded.
She needs money. She deserves money. That woman deserves like an absolute giga chat of a man. She needs like a John Hamm.
I would agree, but we're also going to end this podcast before she kills all three of us. So
Yeah. No, she won't.
yeah. Well, I'm closest, so she'd probably start with me and then Max, and then you.
I would see her
Wait,
coming a
wait.
mile away. I'd be like, "Oh,
Okay.
that's Jenny." I'd be like, "Oh, that's
Off air,
Jenny."
we
I'd
can
start-
just-
I don't want to
the
actually
location
say
of-
where she lives
Jenny
because
killing us.
I don't want to actually say where she lives because I don't want to dox her, but it's Southwest. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
I live the
okay,
furthest
yeah,
away.
that's
You
tough.
can put some puzzle pieces together and figure out at least like 8 states. Or 12.
You've never been
43.
west of the Mississippi. You don't know.
Yeah,
I would love to. I would love to be. I've been to fucking foreign countries, but I haven't been west of the Mississippi. I know I've been to Tennessee.
Well,
and
that's
Alabama.
because there's a barrier that's like
so
it's
neither
like
of those are west of.
Oh, they're not west of
Mississippi.
Tennessee. I've been to East Texas. Does that count?
Yes, actually.
Yes.
I
that
also been
counts.
to New Orleans.
Yeah.
No, that's
Okay.
like right. That's right
Okay,
on.
well, I've been
That's
the
right
furthest I've
on
been
it.
is
On the
East,
Mississippi,
the furthest
but
I've been
yeah.
is East Texas.
Okay, that's valid.
Okay.
That was a, but that was a very short time. New Orleans was cool, except for like like all the crime and the Dixie mob,
Yeah.
and
New
also all the
Orleans,
step down
New
crap.
Orleans is a beautiful place, but like I've talked to people from New Orleans and they're like, yeah, dude, you go down the wrong alleyway, they ain't ever gonna find you.
Yeah,
again, boy.
it's
I'm
one of
just
those
like,
places
oh,
where it's like, it's one of the few places where I'd openly admit that I would carry an illegal firearm because it is too much of a risk, and the cops are corrupt anyway, so it doesn't matter.
exactly. Yeah.
So like, you're gonna get fucked either way.
So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for another extended episode of The Altar and joining us for this. We'll thank ourselves for that since we're the one who put the podcast on. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Max and Yimra,
2
it's been
hours.
a good time. 2 hours. This is one of the longest episodes we've ever done. Where
These
it's
are the
just
best
been-
episodes.
This is definitely one of the better episodes.
Every extended episode is a good episode, honestly.
It's always
'Cause then
better.
It's just there's no script.
It's
Not
always
that we have a
better.
script.
It's always better when it's extended, baby.
Ooh.
I've been saying that about the collapsible batons. I want one of those. I don't care if it's a ninja shit. Small ninjas. I think they're cool.
Butthole.
They're just cool. They're so fun. They're like,
Word.
and you just
All right.
whack some guy in the knees and they come.
Yimra, Max, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for joining us. Another episode
Hey,
of the
gentlemen, court.
podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, and always, taxation theft.
Yeah,